Everybody wants to track their habit, they want to improve their habits, and you come to the right place, because in this video I'm going to show you how you can build a Notion habit tracker from scratch with graph in just the time that it takes me to actually build. So this is the template that we're going to build. Just a quick spoiler for you what we're going to do, and let's start building it. So let's create a new page. Okay, let's call habit tracker, and we're going to add a database. So slash, and let's just add an inline database. Okay, let's add a title for the habit tracker. I'm going to use like habit tracker build with me, because I have too many templates in my workspace. And we can just hide the database title. We can just remove the tags property, we don't need that. And we also going to use style to turn that to full width. I have a wider space to work in. So the first thing that we need is a date property. So let's click plus. We're going to type date and not a date. Cool. We can resize by dragging and dropping if we want. And then we're going to start add checkbox for each habit that we want to track. We're going to add 5. So let's create one, and we're going to find the checkbox, rename that. So we have journal. Let's duplicate and have red. So the first thing that we want to do to make that a bit nicer and a bit more is to basically hide the title. And we can just do that by double clicking this line. So you see it's just going to resize to leave the checkbox. The only problem is right now we don't have any clue about what is what. So we're going to change that. So basically click one, and we're going to change the icon, right? So we can quickly see what we are doing. So we're going to change, and then going to use this for journal. So we have our checkbox. We do this, nothing really happening because we need to track the progress, right? We want to see the percentage that completed. So we're going to add a formula. So easy enough, we create a new property that is going to be a formula. I like to call that progress and change the icon to something more aesthetic like this. Okay, but you can write whatever you want. And so here's where the part starts. So let's open and let's start working on the formula. You can just copy paste the formula. It is not that complicated. So what we're going to do is that tell Notion to translate each checkbox to a number. So then we can have like each checkbox is going to be a number. It's going to count how many habits we have completed, and then divide by the total habits, right? So we have the progress with that. So to do that, we just need to add 2 number formula. So there is, you can do by using the Notion formula, the original one. This goes like this. Okay, but you can also use the new formula 2.0, and this is going to be something like this. So basically it's this, and then you have like 2 number. Okay, it's basically the same. I still use, because I'm not as smart, I still use that old formula, but this is just the same thing. You see like this, and this is the same thing. So let's use the original formula because I'm more comfortable, and you just going to do the same. So basically 2 number plus, and we do that for all. If you click done, so basically I have just say like turn this property, this is a checkbox, so it will return like true and false normally. Convert that into a number, so basically or is 0 not checked, or is 1 checked, and sum all of that. So basically what we're going to see is just start counting, right? So for example, if we say all this number, okay, and we divide for the total number, we will have a percentage, right? So let's start doing that. I don't know how to add parentheses. Okay, this. so it become a bit more clean what we are doing, because otherwise it's kind of confusing. Whatever is happening, this is like the way that you're going to normally format code, and it's a better way to visualize, right? So basically just add some spacing. I add a parenthesis because I want everything, right, the sum of this, and I want to divide. So basically I'm going to divide by the total number that is currently 5, right? So if I do done, it's going to say 1. We want to make that turn into a percentage, right? So 1 basically is 100%. So we're going to open the setting for the property, set edit property, and you see that we have here like a number format and change from number to percent. And we can also add the first bar. So we can add the bar or we can add a ring. And you can also change the color. I like orange. And you can also have show number or not show number. Let's just keep showing the number. So right now it's not visible, but there will be an issues when you have like different amount of number of habits you're going to track. You're going to get like, and let me show you what happens basically. So let's see that I do this, and you see what is happening. Is going to get me crazy amount of numbers. So we can fix that very easily by just round that and basically round to an integer number, I don't know, a number that doesn't have too many digits. So how are we going to do? Just open it up. So basically we need to add another parenthesis. So let me show you how that works. So let's call the property round and open up the property round. We want to add this, okay, and then what we want to do is basically multiply by 100, and then okay, actually this is not how you do this right here, and then you divide. Okay, you just copy and paste. I'm not a programmer if you see that, but basically what we have done, we add the round property. And so I need to add one parenthesis, I need to close the parenthesis, and then after the division, right, I will go just multiply by 100 and then divide by 100 outside the parenthesis, right? So if you want any more digits, actually you can just add 10. Is going to turn like 233, and you can just go here and you're going to go done. You have actually done. So right now this worked perfectly. We're going to track. So you see I click, the progress goes up, and we can just stop here basically. I prefer to add something that make that much more powerful, much more usable. Say that I want to track more habits. So I have this, I have had the 5, I want to track another habit. So let me just add a new property, right? This will be something like, I don't know, meditation, okay? So first thing is that we need to add the property here, right? Because if we don't, it just doesn't count the property. So let's do that. So let's add this and just add the property. So plus meditation, actually plus 2 number, and add meditation. Okay, done. What happened is just that that word property, right? What is the issues with that? Let's say that on day 5 I want to track 5 habits, right? Because for this month I just want to track 4 habits or 5 habits. Next month I'm going to add a new habit. But if I follow this system and just update the formula, it's going to screw up everything. Because as I add, for example, let's say that this is the month when you want to track 5 habits, right? And this is the month where you want to track 6 habits. But if you update the formula is going to update for every entry, every pages inside our database, right? And this means that this is going to result not completed, even if back then we didn't have this habit. So let me show you how you can fix that very easily. Proud of this one. So you need to add a new property, right? So let's add a new property. It's going to be a number. is the number. Okay, let's call total habits. Okay, don't need to really change because this is going to be hidden. And this is going to be when we decide how many habits we want to track, right? So this month, just follow me, is like we want to track 5 habits, but the next month we want to track 6 habits, right? So what we need to do, we just need to update our formula. Instead of dividing by a number that is always the same number, we want to replace that with our property that we can update. So we just replace this with total habits. Click done. And so you see that now things start working in our favor because I can have 3 habits and this is going to be correctly 100%. You can have 5 habits, you can have 4 habits, and you can go up whatever you want to track 100 habits. You can do that, right? A quick suggestion: just stick with some habits and then add over the course of time, and maybe you're going to arrive to 6-8 habits so that don't go overboard, going crazy, because nobody actually stick with that many apps. And then you're going to tell me, so what I need to do every time I create a new page, I need to actually type in the number? No, you don't. So what you're going to do is to create a template, and this is also not going to allow this trick to work, but this is where we can also set the habits to be recurrent, and so to automatically populate inside Notion, right? So let me show you how that works. So you go here and you create a new template, right? So let's just set up the template. So in the title, I like to add the date. So the way that you're going to add the date is using the at, okay, and then you click today and you say today date when duplicate. So this means that Notion is going to update the title, right? So you click here today. So next we're going to decide the date, and the day is going to be today, and you can also use now if you want the time. I don't think you need the time when you track your daily habits, so just stick with today date when duplicate, right? So basically, okay, let me clean it up. We can also add an icon. So let's add an icon. I kind of want this icon, right? But you can have an icon, you can have an emoji. Actually, this is an emoji. You can have an icon, and you can also add your custom icon, right? This is just to decide how many total habits we want to track for this period. So let's start. We start at 5 habits. We're going to type 5 habits. So okay, we can close and make sure that the template is on default, right? So you click here and you set as default, and you say for all view in habittracker, right? We always want, when we create a new habits, to be this template, right? And we can also just already add the recurring function. So we just click here, we set repeat and go daily and start. Every 1 day start, and this is like the time this is going to be created, and this is like the time zone if you want to change. Save, and if you see right now there is this that tells us this repeatedly. So basically every day is going to create the template for you, and you just need to complete the habit to check off the habit, right? So this is how you're going to do this. So if right now we create a new page, you see that is already fill up with the right information. So we have the icon, we have the today that is going to update, right? The title is going to update. We have the date, and we have the total habits that we want to track. So when you just want to add new habits, what you're going to do is just come here and just update that to 6 or 7 or 8, whatever, right? So this is very easy. This is the foundation of our template. We're going to add something additionally. So what we can do is, the first thing, I'm going to start creating some different view, right? You can use this view. I don't mind a table view. A way that also you can make that look a bit cleaner is to go here and basically turn off short vertical lines. So what I like usually is to have my table view set as kind of default, or more like all, where I can see that. And they also usually call all, and I change the icon to something like a database or something like that. So this is the way that I build. So from this, we're going to add different view. So let's start building different view. So one view that you will want to have is basically the calendar view. So let's change that table from to calendar, and we can have two options. So one is to show calendar as month or show calendar as week. So let's just do that by week. See, nothing's there because we just need to reveal the property, right? So we go to the property, right? And we can say like show all, and then just rearrange to make a bit more sense. So total habits don't need the progress. I want that on the bottom, and I basically will rearrange like this. Okay, makes sense to me. Let's change the view. So I'm going to remove because I like the default and say like by week or weekly, whatever. I can also duplicate and create a monthly view very easily. I just need to duplicate, rename it, and change the layout of the calendar from week to month. And then one that I like is using the gallery view. So let's create the gallery view. So let's duplicate and change the layout from calendar to gallery. And that is where things start getting interesting. So where we're going to create a kind of system like this. So let me show you how you can do that. So the first thing in property, just reveal the property and just do the same thing that we've done before. So basically just reposition, right? Like this. Let's change the view. Like I like to get like something like, let's do this and say by date, because then we're going to make some grouping, right? So let's just do this. So let me add some more properties so that make more sense what I'm doing. So let's add some automation, right? I told about using buttons, so let me show you how you can use the button. So the first thing, we're going to add a inline type button that allows us to check off all the habits in the current date, in the current page. So let's open one. Let's add the property and let's add a button. You see this button, and it's really simple. What we're going to tell that when you press this button, do this. So what we want to do, basically we want to have our property to become checked. Right, let me add something that I like. I like to, instead of having button, I like to have an icon. So the way we're going to do, just go for a moment here, and you can create the basically the checkbox. So you can copy the checkbox, you open again this button, and basically in the label you just use this, right? And you can also rename the button like check off, things like that. Okay, and you see that right now we have basically a button that allow us to check all item off. So let me show how it works. So let's reveal that, right? Check off, right? So basically what we do is going to do this. We click here, it's going to do this wonderful trick. So let's add some more buttons. This will be an inline button, but we also can have a button that is on the top of our system, like what is happening right here. So let's create a button, right? A button block. So you create button. This work like that one, the inline one. So, but we have some more customization like that. We can add, like for example, an icon to the button. So let me add an icon like this. Let's call all complete, all completed, and the same as goes. But we need to do a bit more filtering, right? So add an action, and we need to decide which database we're going to update, right? So you say you do edit page in, and we select the database. So the database is this, so habittracker build, right? But we don't want to edit all page in habittracker, right? We don't want to check off all pages in the habittracker. It's going to just mess it up with everything. We just want to check off the current day habits, right? So what we're going to do is just, you see all pages, you just edit this and you add a filtering. So you say only when the date, starting date is today, okay? And then we can actually do the editing thing. So add the journal, check, and you can do that for all the property, right? Done. And so let's just turn this off so you can see what happens. You click this and boom, you have all your habit checker. You can also do this, add button for each habit, right? So how are you going to do? So just the best way is going to duplicate this and just change this. So let's change this to be the journaling, right? And I also like to remove the title, right? We don't need a title actually. And just remove the one that are not relevant. Just leave the journaling. So next, just have this very fancy thing, you can just drag and drop and put that inline, right? And so basically then you just duplicate and do the same for all of that. That I'm going to do, but I'm going to fast forward. Okay, so let's pretend I've done that for all the property because it's the third time I built this system. I'm getting a bit bored. So what it's going to do, right? So let's just check it off again so you can see what's happening. So this work just for day to day, right? So you click here, journal is going to update. We click here, meditation is working, and you can do time. So you see that in my original template there are some very aesthetic things going on here. So let me show how you can do that. So the first thing, right, we have our gallery view. So let's me having the gallery view, right? And currently the current view, there is no image here and it's not grouped. So let me show you what I like to do. So the first thing we're going to group. So edit view, layout, edit view, group, and we're going to group by date, right? And we're going to group by date instead of relative that is going to say like last 30 days, last 7 days, we want to group by week. So let's say week, right? And so we will have our week like this. So I just want that in one line. So the way that you're going to achieve this is going to go to the layout, and check the card size to small. Other things that I want to do, so some people use like automation to see the average percentage and things like that, like formula, but you can do very easily to see the progress, right, that you're doing. So basically you see that next to this group there is this number that says control. We're going to go to more option, average of progress. So basically, if we just let me reveal this, so it make it a lot easier to check off all the habits. So you see that if I start to doing this start to get update, and this is 100%. So let's start adding the cover, right? So one way to add the cover would be to go basically open one, right? And to change other cover, right? Things like that. And to make them to be seen, you just need to go to layout, gallery, and switch the card preview from page content to page cover. And you see, it's going to have this. But I prefer another method, right? So the method I prefer is to add a new property. So let me show why I prefer that. So if we add a new property, make tons of different to change the design. So if let's say I add a cover, right? Create a new, and this is going to add this cover. So I can basically use that as default property, right? But let's say that I want to change because I don't like this anymore, right? So what I will have to do with this method is go inside any of these properties and change it. So we're going to add a property. So let's add a property, and this property is going to be files and media, and this is where we can have our image for the cover. But when we update the image or the link, it is going to update on all our templates. So let me show you how that works. So first, let me find the same image that I've used, and so basically I think that I can just do this, like copy image address. I think that should work. I hope not ever. Okay, so I link, yeah, perfectly. So I can just add to any of these pages, and then what I can do is just dragging and dropping, and it's going to update for everything. I can also, do the same for the template. So in the template, just add that, right? Okay, super cool. Just hide that because we don't need that. So let's go back to the gallery view. So you're going to go to layout gallery again and change the color preview from page cover to files and media. This is where our image is, right? So you do that and boom, that is going to update. Let me show you, if you really like aesthetic thing, let me show you how you can make that even more cooler. I'm going to add in my files and media property a new files and media and embed the link, right? So and then I just drag and drop. So you say, okay, what is changed? I'm going to tell you what is changed. So if we have these, like, cool, but if we go here and we do this simple step of opening it, let me open it up, please, and dragging and dropping, and then drag to fill old value. Let's see if you're smart. What do you think is going to happen? Boom, we have changed the cover. So that means that we can have our cover change based on our boot, right? We can add 10 cover and then we can just drag and reorder the cover, and this is going to update in Notion. So this is a very super trick for you if you like aesthetic stuff for Notion. So we have done something that you may want to do to make it a bit more cool is to also add in the in the property, also rename to add some emoji, for example. So as you will see that. The way to do that is to just using the shortcut for adding the emoji. So let's say this, right? Or something like this. So you create that and you just copy and you rename and you paste it here. And just to even clarify, you can, if you want, remove the title, just leave the emoji. It's going to work perfectly the same. So let me show you. You can have just this. So for example, because the formula is going to update basically when you change the property. And then we just need to add the famous graph. So let me show you how you can add the graph. To create the chart, we currently can use Notion to chart. You need to subscribe, you need to create an account, but you can have one free chart, okay? Notion is going to release their own charts, so this is going to change in the future, but right now you can use this system. So you just need to subscribe, whatever. I already subscribed, so I'm just going to show you how you create the chart. So you just, when you have an account, you create a new chart, okay? You choose line chart, you go to next, and you select your database. So if you don't find your database, you just need to update. So what you do is like, call and find your database? No. And then you're going to go to, so it's going to give you these pages. So be sure to be in the right workspace if you have multiple. So right now, for example, this is the workspace that I want to use. And then I'm going to just use I'm just going to seek for my my habittracker, and be sure to select the database. So for example, my database is habittracker build. So already add, and you say allow access. Then you select the database. You should find the database. Okay. Next. So label, don't want it. So for the x-axis, we're going to use the date, right? And for the the y-axis, we're going to select progress. Create the chart. So here's our chart. Okay, we can have some customization, but if you have the free version, I think that a lot of customization are not available. I think color you can change. So let me change the color to orange. So what you just need to do is to go to get embed link, right? Copy, go back to Notion and just paste it and say embed. Okay, just drag and drop to be a full width. Is we have our habittracker system. You can also switch to the dark mode, right? If you want, and just switch to dark mode. And this is our habittracker. I hope you like this system, the template. You're going to find this habittracker for free, okay? And you can also find the same habittracker inside my second brain if you want a more comprehensive system. Super cool template. I will get to see you in the next video.